I am Lance Self.
And I am Arlinda Self.
And this is the Self-Explanatory Podcast, presented by 419 Grind.
Well, hi, honey. You're back again, everyone, with Arlinda Self and my husband, Mr. Lance Self. How y'all doing out there?
What's going on, everybody?
How you doing,
Episode
honey?
number 2. I'm feeling all right, man. Fresh off of work. Gotta get my energy up, you know?
Mine up already. I stay ready.
Gotta get in self-explanatory mode.
I stay ready.
What's going on, babe?
Not done. You know what? I wanted to pick up on that last episode about first impressions. And I know we spoke to some of the viewers and everyone about how they felt about it. Right. And we had a lot of different views.
A lot of good feedback. People giving the inputs. I didn't know a lot of people got a lot of different views.
That's what I'm saying.
Some people like first impressions don't matter.
And we're like, yes, it does.
You only get one first impression back.
Right. So it's kind of weird. Yeah. And I started reading through some of the comments, and I thought they were very interesting.
Yeah. Shout out to my boy, Sean Scott. He says, honestly, it's really not that big of a deal to me unless you're in a series of turn-offs. I'm like, what do you mean a series of turn-offs? Like, you just meet that person just constantly being turned off. I mean, the first time you meet them, you're not turned off by the first time they turn you off. But hey,
well, I can understand that. I mean, because there may be something that happens where you're like, I'm a little turned off, but then you're like, oh, they got my attention back. You know what I'm saying? I guess. But
I was thinking like, okay, if I meet you first time and the initial meeting is you're just everything about you, just your attitude, your ways, your style, it just turns me on. I mean, you ever been on a date and that person just everything about them, they're cute, but that's it. Everything else about it just turns me off.
I went on a date once, honey, and this guy, he just kept spitting. And I was so upset because I didn't drive my own car.
So what did that turn you off initially? Like
I didn't call back. Man. I blocked this number
real quick.
It was bad.
I can't think of.
I don't know how he could have came back from that.
I was actually on a date the first time, and I know I stutter. Okay, I know who I am, but this person talked with the list like she had a gap. Like she was pretty. No, seriously, but it was very strong. And first person, and then she had an attitude behind it.
Okay, that makes it worse.
I'm like, okay, so you got these two things. Your first impression to me is not working out. Clearly, we're not on the same page here.
But you know what? Like I said, I heard you stuttering a little bit. Yeah. But not so much. That's why I had to ask, okay, do you have a speech problem, or is it just what's happening? He's like, no, I do. But anyway, so I can understand what you mean. So if you would have had an attitude, I'm like, oh, so you can probably leave.
Like, this not gonna work out.
That ain't right. That is not right. But shout out to Sean. Yeah. He has his wine coming out in September.
Esco wine. Esco wine.
Like my wine.
I'm trying to get my boy V a sponsor.
You don't have to be, because I'm gonna need that wine.
Shout out to our sister Tisha Holmes. She said first impression to her is important because it determines. She got the real simple. It determines gonna be a second impression.
I agree. It determines if I'm gonna go to a second date or not. Like I just told you, dude was spitting. I ain't going.
Still splashing. Now, one I thought was very interesting, different outlook was my boy Cecil. He said first impression can be very intimidating. So many times you don't get the genuine person.
I can see that.
Like I can see that too. Like okay, I can understand that. Your first impression, you're nervous, you're shaky, I got to impress. Your first impression, impress.
I can see that.
I got to impress the person. So a lot of times you're not exactly. It gets natural, I guess.
You know what? You're right. It can be a little nerve-wracking. You know, you're sitting there. You're like, okay, is there something in my teeth? Is my hair looking okay? Look, did I have a pimple? You know how I was, and then it was. You'd be sitting there and you could be a little nervous. So I can't understand how it can get to a point where it's like, okay, maybe this person deserves a second.
Like, you have qualifiers. That's usually attraction, though.
Exactly.
Attraction really makes you come back for a second, even when that person irritates the hell out of you.
But that's what it means. That first impression told you that he or she may be nervous. He get a second date. But if the first impression did not showcase that
you ain't coming back,
be nervous, you're not coming back.
Right? I have a question though. Do you remember our first argument?
Oh my goodness! You know what? We didn't have a lot of arguments, but I do.
The first argument.
The first argument I remember was over spades.
Yeah, me and your sis and my old boy.
And we got into a very, very big argument over spades.
All right. I got to tell the story, at least from my side. I got to tell the story from my side. You can tell your own side. I'm going to tell my own side. All right, yo. So check. This is self-explanatory. Pete. We playing spades, right? We playing spades. No, she my partner. And
I was not your partner.
You was.
Shirley was.
So why were we arguing if you was my partner?
You see, it wasn't.
No,
we don't even remember.
No, that's not true. You was my partner.
No.
Why would I? If it was our first date, birthday date, why would you not be my partner first one? You was my partner. You was my partner.
Okay.
It was me and you because I know why we argued.
Okay, maybe you remember.
Because we was playing spades.
Start over. Go for it.
It was me and my now wife. But my time, my girlfriend, well, I guess we was still dating.
We were still dating.
Yeah, we was dating. We wasn't together. It's back in 2012. We was playing spades, right? Hopping and going. One of us reneged. I don't know if it was me or you. It was me.
Now that I'm thinking of it.
We reneged. I reneged. Okay. It was my once in a lifetime space. No, I was nervous. I'm still making first impression. I got to impress her and her sister. You know, if you gonna impress her sister, your sister, she gonna be like, oh no. So yeah. So I reneged, and she got mad. Like you was like, because the game was tight. It was drinking too. It was a very competitive. It was a close game, and for some reason, I don't know what card I reneged. I messed up on,
and
but
I'm sitting here looking like, man, he about to get caught because my sister on it.
And like look, y'all gotta see the face. She was like this.
I was like, so you can't even be my space partner.
You can't be my space partner. So
do with you.
So we argue, and then she goes, stop acting like a.
I did. I called it a B-I-T-C.
She just stop acting like a B-I-T-C-H. And all hell broke up.
I was drunk.
We was drunk. And then that was our first initial drinking time.
Yeah.
I think it was. And we was yelling, screaming, like, no, forget you. You don't know how to play spades.
And I was you're right.
I left out. Close your door. That was at your house. Slammed the door. And you came outside yelling at me.
I don't know who you think you
Whose door you slammed? Whose door you?
It was bad. And then my sister was like, you know y'all gonna get married, right?
You're like, what?
I was like, nah, he can't even play spades, boo. I can't get married.
And my boy at the time, man, he was like, dude, what you gonna do? So look. We go to the store. I had to go the same night. Had to go to the store, buy this big ass bear.
You did. A big old teddy bear.
Cause I'm like, damn. I guess I got to apologize because we argue over a game of spades. And that's how serious. See, black people when it comes to spades, white people got what they got damn. Rummy or something like that. I don't know.
Just know I love my spades.
Black people
play spades. So
when it comes to us the spades,
when it was serious, because I saw when he did it, and I'm looking like, man, my sis played too. She about to get on you, and she like, he reneged. I'm like, man, I knew it.
And caught, but I did not say nothing. Her sister caught it. Oh, I remember she caught it.
I remember that.
Yeah. So with people, yo, I came back with the beer, and like I had to apologize, and I'm sitting here thinking,
why you gotta apologize?
Why I gotta apologize?
I started to argue.
Why do I got to apologize?
Well, because you reneged.
What I gotta do with the argument?
That's how the initial argument started. You shouldn't have did that.
Well, so why? Okay. I reneged. I made a mistake. I messed up.
You did.
Over a cards game.
That right there should have told you what I was about.
Oh yeah. Oh, this one right here. Woo!
It made you came back. You was ready for more of that though.
That was because I was like, damn.
You came back. You came back with a teddy bear. Text me something. Look outside your door. I remember. I was like, nah. Look outside your door. Nah. Look outside your door.
Hey, Neo got that song, When You're Mad. It was something like, damn.
But I did go out there and I was like, oh, that's sweet.
You got the teddy bear. You still have the teddy bear?
I still have it.
Still have the teddy bear.
First thing back here. It's in my room, in our room. on the right side.
Yeah, still have. That was our very first argument. Wow.
It's crazy because the best man at our weddings gave that same story.
The same story.
Like, so, like, you gonna go back to this crazy chick, or like what you gonna do?
I was like, man, this girl crazy. Let me ask you a question. Why?
This is what I get. I get a lot of questions.
Well, but think about it. Okay, why do men always got to be the first to apologize? To me, you was wrong. I was wrong too.
Was I?
At least no.
Was I?
Apparently not.
Okay, let's start over. Did you not renege in the same day?
Okay, I was wrong for reneging.
It was your fault. So what you started from was me initially getting upset. That's where the argument started.
Yeah.
The argument started for me when you reneged. Because in my you should understand where we're going with this. What happened? What happened? Why did this happen? And that's how it starts for me with every argument, though. Just to jump a little bit here, I always feel like men always start from what happened. What did I do? Well, you didn't think about what you did before that. Are we not on the same page? But as a woman, I'm starting to understand that, excuse me, we have to talk about these things because we are totally on two different
Man
pages.
and woman are totally two different opposites. I mean, when you come into developing a relationship, each one, and kind of this is back 2012 when we was young. We was both coming from our own issues, own drama, baby mama dramas, baby daddy dramas, or whatever. But when you come into develop a relationship, it's almost like you got to understand, okay, we got two different worlds. I reneged on a card. I didn't think I was going to die that night. I was like, oh, this what life with her is. And
it ended the whole card.
We was done. The card game was over. It was over.
I did. I knocked all them cards over. And get out.
But I was like, dang, she just like, she's crazy.
But you know what? That is not good. That was not a good first impression. Because it's just, you know what? It shows some craziness. It was an unnecessary argument.
It shows my punkness. I ran. Why we making an argument? We ran.
You know what? I think
I'm sorry. I was so scared. I was, whoo, Jesus.
But you came back the right way. I think that jumping a little bit, you know how crazy it could get.
Right.
So I think that you recognizing then,
right.
Let me go on up and get a fire. I'm sure, I think you also recognize that.
My ass beat.
Stop. Don't be saying, I don't beat him up.
No, not at all.
But I think, where was I going with that? You messed my whole little flow up.
I don't know.
Oh, I think that you recognizing, for me, it's hard for me at sometimes to say I'm sorry first.
Right.
Or to come to you and say I'm wrong first. I'm working on that. You know that. I'm doing a good job. I'm doing a good job.
It did. Yeah, because if we were still acting like 2012, we wasted 8 years of our life.
I agree. So I think, but you showed me how to come back quick. You're like, hey, we in this anyway. So we may be upset, but I'm coming back regardless if you're wrong or I'm wrong. I don't care who's wrong, but I'm sorry and I want to fix it. And I'm learning that. Yeah. And that you started that from 2012 and from that first argument. And it took me years to understand that, things don't have to be that serious and that hard for us.
One thing I learned even from the very first argument from where I have learned is, if I come to you, I got to come to you correct. Even
that is very true.
I mean, you can take it how you want to take it, but I got to come correct. You can't be coming messing up in no space game, baby.
I did. Because I was all up in you. I had money on it like, hey,
we had money on the game, but...
So I can understand.
But that was probably one of our most important arguments because it talks about each other because we came back to each other no matter what still.
We did.
You know what I mean? And that's what, even at the moment, the initial argument, it didn't get out of hand. It was crazy. It was yelling and screaming, but that's the argument. Right. And when you first learn somebody, and the reason why you don't drink tequila.
We learned earlier on.
Yeah, this ain't for us. But it was definitely a learning experience. It was. I
agree.
Yeah. So
I agree with that. I think after that,
the first argument,
that was the very, very first one too, and that happened so quick though.
No, it was 2 months to us talking.
Are you sure?
It was 2 months. I mean, the first month and a half was Then we had an argument because we played space 2 months. It was like in November.
All right.
We met in August.
Dang, you remember more than I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
See?
Okay.
Why we men gotta remember. See? we have to remember these things.
I get that to you. You do be remembering stuff though.
You know, the part is how my first feeling is, men always gotta be the first one to apologize.
I think don't put me on blast like this.
I'm just being honest. Because for the first argument, I had to come back and apologize. But okay, why? And if had that apology never happened,
we wouldn't have happened.
How would anything else ever happen?
But you know what? I think it's not that men always have to come back and apologize. I think that it depends on the people and the relationships.
Right.
I got to the point where in my past relationship, I was regardless if I did anything or not, I was always the one coming back on how can we do this? How can we do this? I told you at one point I was just like, oh, if you ain't coming right, I just don't want to deal with it. You can bounce, you can leave, and that's I know that sounds so selfish of me.
No,
but I had gotten to a point there where I'm like, listen, I have a whole daughter to think about, and if you're not coming with this, I don't think you should be here.
Right.
Unless I just feel like playing around with you for a little bit of time.
Right.
But I think that you should go about your business. But like you just said, you came back because you were serious about something, which showed me so you really do want to go further with this. You do want this. You do like this, and you want to pursue it.
Correct.
So again, you taught me from just that day that it's okay to say I like you and I want to come back.
You know what? From that day, it was amazing to actually being accepted back.
Really?
I don't think we understand the fact.
You don't feel like that as a man?
No, the fact. Okay, once we men fuck up, that's it. Oh no, it's over here. Even from a space game, we 8 years later we're still talking about it. But then
But you know what? I think you already hit it on the point when you said you had to come back. Correct. And I'm not just saying that about us, but I think when you said us men, you men have to do that.
I would never lose a space game again if I do it. Because we're niggas.
Not because of that.
Had to come correct.
But you just said it like you had to come back correct. And I think that goes with any relationship, and I think that goes on both sides.
Right.
If a woman screws up, you do have to come back correct. Because to a good man,
right?
If you have a good man and you messed up, don't act like you're gonna come back and just think everything's about to be okay. You better come back.
Don't expect
ready.
them to be
there you go.
to be flawless, but you be filled with imperfection and not supposed to be accepted.
Exactly.
You know, a lot of times our past people from that space night, it showed us both by each other from when we had to do it in the past.
Ooh, yeah.
You know what I mean? to be so quick at one thing or upset at one thing is like, dang. So from our past relationships, from our past relationships, this has made me this particular. I gotta have a shield up. I gotta have a wall up.
Right.
I gotta have oh my goodness, what's going on? And I was fearful even to apologize that night because my past was shoot, move on.
So what made you come back then?
I knew something different about you. So obviously I was right. You're my wife now.
I'll take it. But like what? You said that you were very fearful, and I can understand what you mean by that because I wouldn't have called you back. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy you called. Pride. You came back.
Pride.
Pride.
It would definitely be pride. Pride comes before destruction. That's what they often say. As the Bible even says, pride comes destruction, meaning that a lot of reasons why how people fall or people, even when it comes to relationships, why a lot of relationships fails is because they don't put their pride aside.
You say that a lot.
You know what I mean? When a lot of times it's my pride. Oh no, I know, she wrong. I'm wrong. I'm a man. I'm gonna have my pride. It was legit pride. You know what I mean? And through the years of us growing and learning, things didn't happen overnight for us. But
no, it did not.
We have learned to, I'm gonna set my own pride aside. And okay, I'm gonna take the time to listen to my spouse.
But I think you did a better job of that.
No, babe. I can only do as good as the woman I'm standing next to, and that's you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
You know what I mean? Hey. So it was definitely a game changer because initially my pride would come in the way like, oh, I mean, I'm Lance L. I would forget you, whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
But setting the pride aside can change everything. It can make your relationship so much better once that pride is set aside.
That I agree with.
So yeah,
learning how to put that pride to the side, learning how to put that hurt
arguments.
Away. So
how would people? I mean, if they're having their first argument, okay, how do people come back from that? If you were in a young relationship,
I'm gonna hopefully do exactly what you did.
go ahead.
One, recognize that is this person worth it? Okay. You know, is this person worth me saying, I don't care if it's my fault or his fault. I don't care. What I care about is how we can fix this problem. We're going to fight this problem. And we're going to talk about it. I mean, I think there were times me and you had to sit down and we prayed first. And then we would write it down because we weren't able to talk to each other. And you were like, no, write it down. Write it down. And I'll read it. And then I had to write, you had to write yours down. And I would read it. And then it became love letters. Now we're talking about stuff. And then all of a sudden,
communication.
We started communicating about it. So I think that, not saying this will work for you, but I'm saying that this was a possible way. This was a way that worked for us.
Right.
We had, our communication was so bad at one point, and we just had to we really, really had to find a way to discuss it. And then it had to get to a point where I didn't want to keep saying everything you did wrong. I had to get to a point where I had to say, well, what did I do? Because I did a number of things. Why am I only saying what he? How do I expect him to respond if I'm cursing and yelling?
Right.
He's going to respond the same way. You know.
Man, a lot of times it's always the other person's fault.
That's how we see it. Mm-hmm. It's you. You did it. You did it.
It's always the other part. Even from my standpoint, it was I did nothing wrong.
Mm-hmm. I said that a lot. I didn't even do it.
Any arguments, it was I did nothing wrong, so something must be wrong with her. Right. Coming back to the car, saying I did mess up. I reneged.
But you know what? Look how small it was.
It was small.
Why did I have to flip out that much?
But that can dictate everything in any relationship. There, it's about the growing process,
right?
You know, growing, learning each other, take the time to learn each other, learning each other patience. I mean, love is not created. Love is developed.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, hey,
right. That was a toughie. Just thinking about it, huh? It was so crazy because I was so excited for you that night and for us. And the fact that I can see how you could get discouraged from just that argument. What if you wouldn't have came back because I'm upset? I'm calling you names over in a card game. You see what I'm saying? Let's just be real.
You said stop acting like a.
Well, you're right. You're right. I didn't call you a name, but just getting. I mean, what kind of woman speaks with that kind of mouth? You see what I'm saying? Period. Let's just keep it real. So what was I thinking? Why was I talking like that? Thinking I can belittle a man in that way, and the fact that you still said, "Okay, I see something more. I'm gonna come back." I wouldn't have came back.
I think that's.
You know what I'm saying?
I really think from what I seen right there is like I go up for the past a lot because everything that a lot of women go through. A lot of women, they go through the hurt, the pain, they got to create a natural defense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The defense is
yeah.
You know, a lot of people don't recognize the defense that's being created behind from the past relationships, from the walls, from excuse me, from I've been treated this way. This person did X, Y, and Z to me. People don't know your story.
They do not.
And
right, I feel what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Of having to overcome particular situations. And that's also creating your strength. You know what I mean? So they don't understand the part, okay, we initially at a younger age, we was 24 years old.
We were so young.
We were so young. We didn't think about 24. We were 25 at this damn time. Like, damn, we was young.
Because we'll be 34 this year.
No, you'll be 34.
Don't start that. Don't start with me. I'll be 34 in September, and you'll be 34.
Let's play. I love you, boo. Hey,
he keeps calling me a cougar. Because I'm only a few months older than he is. Whatever. But we'll be 34 this year. We started off just dating, though, at 24. Yeah. And at that time, I think I was watching, just jumping into a question real quick. Okay. People were saying that, should you be dating multiple people, in the dating phase? Should you focus on one person or should you date? And I think for me and you both, we both were dating. We knew we both understood what dating.
It was dating
meant. So you were dating, not
process of elimination.
Exactly. I like that because that's what we both were doing. I know it got to one point where you came to me and was like, so like where I'm at in this, and I was like, you know, you up there. You know.
Let me give people a backstory. When we first initially met, we was dating other people.
We dated for a while.
Okay. It wasn't like we came to each other. Oh my God, I'm yours, you're mine.
Right.
It was a process of learning that there's something about this person that separates us from everybody else. But actually, if you are dating, do you think if people are initially dating, they should date other people?
I'm gonna
from the initial date.
I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Only because you think I'm supposed to put all these eggs right here and be like, it's just me and you now. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who you are. I don't know you. You know, I have to get to know who you are. And then what if you become just a great friend? You know what I'm saying? And then and which we've had happen.
Correct.
You know, so I think that getting to know people just so they can become, you don't know why this season is happening, why this person is coming into your life. So I'm supposed to just drop everybody because I don't know who you are, but you told me to be with you. I don't know.
Because you have a spirit saying.
Right. The spirit told me to be with you. That's not going to work out.
Yeah, they ain't going to work out today, Don.
We dated
1960, that may work.
We dated for a few months. Yeah. It was a while.
Yeah. We dated from August to our initial being together was December 21st?
20th.
Ooh, I messed up.
Really? So that's okay because you remember the first argument.
But I do believe dating initially because you never understand what somebody means to you until, if somebody just comes to your life, when it's not the love at first sight thing, but even though I love you first sight, but I didn't know that, hey, this is where I'm at.
Understandable.
Okay, so you have a situation where, we're going to date, but we're going to date other people just to have it doesn't mean you're fucking everybody.
Right.
It just means you're dating, you get to know somebody, may go on a day or two or here and there. But how can you understand somebody's value?
Right.
You know what I mean? I feel like the values are still, something different about this person because I have dated plenty of people in the past or even at that particular time. You could say currently I'm dating multiple people, at least going out to movies or whatever.
Right.
Simplicity. This person right here is catching my eye.
Right.
So now I'm with this person, now everybody else is getting eliminated. Everybody start weaning off.
And then I remember getting a couple inboxes.
Yeah.
Couple.
Oh, I know. My wife's fine.
I'm talking about on your end from women.
Oh, me?
When they were like, remember, I showed you. I was like, I got a couple women here talking about they're dating you. And we had that conversation. You were like.
Yeah, they was dating.
They were like, you were like, well, yeah. And I'm like, okay, but why are they talking? Why are they in my? Did they not understand that you're dating them?
They recognize who the queen was.
What's going on? And you were like, well, maybe they don't understand. I said, no, maybe you just didn't make it clear.
Yeah, I feel that part, right.
And that was just on our end. But me and we talked, and it was the same way on my end.
Right.
You're like, is yours clear? I'm like, you know what? That's a good question. So we had to get to a point where we had to make it clear with other people that we were dating. And then we had to make sure we were clear for us. And then when it got to a point when you took me to, was it Cleveland?
Cleveland.
And I got to meet your best friend and his girl. And
Slade and Jordan.
Yes, shout
out to my bro.
I'm so excited for that. I can't wait to see them.
They just announced their pregnancy.
Hey, I'm
first baby on the way.
I'm hyped. Love you too. But what was I saying? Oh, we had gotten to a point where you had taken me there and you were like, hey, I was dating others and you were dating others, but can we get to a point where we decide not to date other people? Can we get together? And I was like,
I was like, transition.
You mean I got to stop all the dinners? All right.
Hey, I came to her one day. She had a whole brand new TV.
Stop telling me.
It's the truth. I'm like, damn. I know I ain't get you that. But,
I had gotten TVs. I had gotten a lot of stuff.
Man,
but you know what?
We men are bumps. We are.
He was not a bump.
No. Men be so thirsty.
Nice,
men be so thirsty that they would do it. I ain't buy no TV.
First of all, don't get it twisted. You was buying stuff too.
No, I wasn't. I bought you stuff.
Exactly.
You became my wife.
Anyways. All I know is he came over. You did come over that day. And you were like, so should I be worried about this man?
I ain't give a damn.
And I was like,
I know I'm about to get it.
I guess I can talk to him.
I'm about to get it. No, I'm like, babe, this nigga need to buy you a car too next.
You bought me a car.
No, I'm just saying we should have used his money.
You better stop. I do. You know what? I'm sorry. I keep hitting your shoulder. Hey, we're gonna make that part out. Don't listen to him. I'm just. We kind of talking to Jesse over here. He trying to be quiet all on the.
Our director.
Like he don't hear.
Shout out,
like he, you know.
Shout out to Mr. 49 Grand. He get to hear all the shit.
He hear all of it.
So.
Nah, but yeah, you did come to me and say that you were ready for a relationship.
Yeah.
And it was honestly, I had already been ready for a relationship with you. Mm-hmm. But once again, pride, being nervous because I had already gotten multiple DMs from multiple women.
Right.
So in my mind, I'm like, oh, come on. I ain't got time for this. That means I got to deal with this and this and this and that. But the way you decided to set it up and come with it was so real.
A lot of times, women just got to learn to be honest.
You were extremely honest.
You guys got to be blunt. Like, no, at this time, you are not XYZ, but I realized that you are this.
You are now. I agree.
You are, because when you first meet somebody, I mean, that can go left or right, because when you've been dating for multiple people, multiple years, hurt, disrupted, misused, abused, cheating on, you naturally create a mechanism, a defensive mechanism.
I agree.
So what whew, man.
You thought about that, huh?
Man, think about it like shit. Do y'all remember y'all first argument?
Ooh, if you're in a relationship, how did it go? What made you two decide to sit down and say, we're going to talk this out. We are going to get through this. Because when you go through that first argument, that first disagreement, that first hurt with each other, I know that for me, I've had those kind of arguments with someone else, and then I just knew that ain't working out. But I knew for me, if we can get through that one we had, we can get through
any other argument will come about will be easy.
And it was, well, not easy. None of them were easy.
No argument's easy.
But we were able to at least come through them.
Right.
You know, heck, we get into them. We don't get into arguments now. We get into disagreements.
Correct.
Because
that's a big. We need to let that be known now.
Ooh.
There's a difference between argument and disagreement. Disagreements happens all the time. I disagree with my wife today at work.
Yeah.
Disagreements happens.
Yeah.
But argument is a different level. It was bad. Let me work.
Right. Understandable. But, you know, I think we learned that because at one point, I'm going to be honest, I didn't know how to, do the two of them. You know, I'm like, is it an argument or is it a disagreement? We're allowed to have a disagreement.
Correct.
I mean, I know you kind of taught me that it's all right, babe, to have a disagreement. I don't agree with you. It's okay. Go in your damn room and chill out. And I was like, no, we're going to talk about this right now. This is an argument.
Go to the basement, go.
But now I understand. Now when it's a disagreement, I can say, whatever. We can talk about this later. Or even if we talked about it, we can agree to disagree.
Right.
Go in your basement. I'll go upstairs. We'll come back together when it's time to watch Lucifer. Or when it's time to watch Kingdom or something. I don't know.
Yeah. All right,
anyway, but
hey, we over here buzzing.
Anyways, we gonna end this.
We be drinking some vodka.
We gonna
self-respect. Hey, we be drinking each other.
I'm a good girl.
No, she is drinking vodka with me. Yo. All right.
Finish off on our question because I would like to know how others feel about how they got through those first initial arguments and everything.
For your first initial argument, okay. I want to know, how was your first initial argument go? From your spouse, this is a relationship question.
Okay.
For the person you are currently right now, do you remember your first argument?
What was it about? How did it go?
Yeah.
Who came back to the other person first? What did you learn from it?
How did you get through it? How did you get through your first argument? Yeah, we want to know what's going on. Hit us up.
Because it's starting to teach us that there's so many different ways of doing it. So many different opinions, so many different ways, and I am loving it.
Yeah.
All right, that's where we can go.
Hit us up. Self-supported podcast presented by 419 Grind. Hit us up, yo.
All right. I also want to shout out real quick to my cousins at Prime, Jaren and Letitia. They made our shirts for us, self-explanatory t-shirts. Both of them. They are awesome. I am loving the customer service. Look at that. That is straight.
Hey.
So I appreciate you. Check them out. Thank you.